so today's pick a card is going to be about your 3D self versus your 5D self. Okay, so I pushed the camera back a little bit, so hopefully I don't shake it this time. I'm trying a different angle, so let's hope it works. Okay, so this is going to be again your 3D self versus your 5D self. So basically what that is your 3D self is your earthly self, your earthly mind, your earthly experience, and your 5D self. I mean, some people don't feel like there's like a difference between the two, but or don't want to separate the two, but your 5D self is your higher level of thinking, your spiritual side, your the one that made the soul contract that you're living out in the 3D. So your 5D self would observe your life and see how you're doing in comparison to what your responsibilities, your duties, what you're supposed to be experiencing, what you're going through. And your 3D self is just living that life. And, you know, the more that you're connected with your 5D self, the more that you have a different perspective on your experiences. So this, again, is going to be, how does your 3D self view your life right now versus your 5D self? I wanted to make it more like, maybe more specific, but that would be very difficult to do. And I don't know like how much energy would come through in something like that. Like I can't, I mean, I could do like different topics, like how does your 3D self, actually, you know what? Detangling, all the stuff that should be done off camera. Okay, so again, yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. And I'm also going to do another one that's going to be in regards to relationships. I know people really like relationship types of conversations. So I'm going to do uh, a part 2 to this, but this is going to be part 1. And it's going to be, again, your 3D versus your 5D. So your pile selections are going to be as follows. So pile 1, you're going to be the yellow Lego little piggy bank type thing. And pile 2, you are going to be the red. And pile 3, you're going to be the blue. So as per usual, I'm going to add a still and I'm going to add timestamps and we're going to get started. So pile 1, I will meet you there. And yeah, that's it. Now that I have your attention, let's get started. See you, pile 1. Hey, pile 1. So if you chose pile 1, you chose the yellow Lego piggy bank thing. So we're going to put your option to the side. And for some of the piles, some more cards came out than others. Some more cards, that's right. Language has been a struggle for me lately. Oh my gosh, I was watching this video, this lady's video, and she was talking about, you know, another reason why you could like be, for argument's sake, glitching. I don't know why people like to use that word. She didn't say glitching, but I'm just using the word glitching. Because I guess I've heard it so many times already now. And she's like, yeah, you could be getting downloads and you could be something about like light language. So meaning like, you know, your higher self communicating in a different language. I don't know, something, I can't, I don't know. Some people are just further, they are light years ahead of me with all what's going on spiritually. I'm just the vessel right now. I'm just still learning. I'm figuring things out. I'm figuring out what's going on with my own self. So yeah, sometimes I hear some stuff and it's so out there. I'm just like, what? But then it's happening to me. So I'm like, does that mean that that's what's happening to me? All right. Okay. So once again, this is a reading on how does your 3D self view your current life versus your 5D self. So in the 3D, you know, we're experiencing things. We might have frustrations in our life. Could be work, could be relationships, could be financial stuff, just could be anything under the sun. So how does your 3D self view your life versus your 5D self? So your higher self, the one that has the higher knowledge, the one that has the bigger perspective in comparison to you just having experiences that you need to progress, for your soul to grow, for your soul to have certain experiences that you agreed to have when you were incarnated into this world. And I'm gonna do a live pull because I'm not selected, but I guess you could say selected. I hate saying selected because it sounds like I actually like intentionally pulled certain cards, but I just meant to say that I shuffled the cards and like dealt out the cards ahead of time. And I'm going to live shuffle and pull. Well, I already shuffled, but I'm going to live pull. What is it again? I'm going to pull 2 cards that are going to describe what are 2 things that you are maybe worried about or concerned about that really are just not even like an issue. They're not even a factor. You might not see it that way, but your 5D self wants to tell you these are not even an issue. So again, pile 1, here we go. Let's see. So we're going to look firstly, let me get some of these things out the way. I apologize for the noise if it's a little noisy. Okay, so let's get these. All right, so we're going to look at what does your 3D self think about your current life. All right. My nose is itching already. Okay. So you got the Hermit, the Page of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. So I can just show them to you if you want to see them. Like I said, I read intuitively, so I'm going to take whatever comes. So whatever information comes to me from these cards. So here you go. The Hermit, Page of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. So let's see what we got. Okay, so looking at the Hermit, I feel like your 3D self feels like you're going through a lot and there's not a lot being illuminated to you. It's almost like you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like you're feeling overcome by a lot of maybe changes or not so pleasant things that are going on in your life right now. And you feel like you're just on this journey alone that maybe nobody else can understand. And there's not really enough light to show you the way to make you feel like I'm comfortable. I feel secure in this journey. So you kind of feel alone like the Hermit. With the Page of Swords, I'm kind of getting 2 different messages when I was looking across the cards here. But let's start here. I feel like you feel, again, like it's like you against the world. Like you're just fighting solely by yourself against the world. I see another perspective. I feel like some of you might not apply to everybody, but I feel like some of you do believe in, you know, ancestors, spirit guides, angels. I feel like you do believe that there is some protection, but in the 3D, I feel like you're just on your own. And it's kind of like, again, like your back is up against the wall and you're just in a situation where I wouldn't say that you feel like you're in danger. That's not the right word to use. But I'm just kind of being focused, or not being focused. I'm being drawn to how he's like standing on the edge of a cliff. And so that's why the word danger came to mind. But it's almost like I feel like you feel that that's how your life is. Like you're walking on edge. Like at any, like it's kind of like you have to kind of always be on, I guess you could say like high alert. Like you always have to be ready for whatever could possibly happen, because maybe you have a type of life or surroundings or circumstances where you're always just kind of walking that edge, and not necessarily because you want to, similar to like the Hermit, the way I explained the Hermit. It's not because you want to, but I feel like whatever your circumstances are, it makes you feel like you're just always walking that line that it could end in disaster at any time. So you're always kind of defensive, and however you actually present that to the world, like outwardly, however you present that you feel in danger. Because, you know, sometimes people can hide their emotions and it's like you don't really see it on their face. They might smile a lot, laugh a lot, and stuff like that. But inside, it's like they're bearing a lot of stuff. Let me take a look at the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like there's something or someone that you adore. Something or someone that you feel is soft and gentle, that you feel is fruitful and abundant. Someone that you feel could care for you. I feel this might only apply to a small few of you. A small few. A select few of you. I feel like you might miss a relative, like a grandma or somebody, or just like a nurturing kind of feeling. So maybe if somebody passed away, you might miss that nurturing feeling, or maybe just in general, you might miss a nurturing, comforting feeling like everything's going to be okay. And that you want to have that feeling. And I feel that you either see that in somebody else or you miss that. Like maybe you had that at one point and you miss that feeling, that everything's going to be okay feeling from whoever used to give you that feeling. And with the Knight of Swords now, I feel like you do see that there is a bright side. I feel like you're trying to find balance, like you're trying to find, like not walk that line, but you're trying to find balance. Like there are I guess you could say, for argument's sake, like the good days and the bad days. Like there are some days where you feel like, you know, life is not so bad, and other days where you're just like, oh my gosh, like this is just too much. So yeah, like some days you feel stronger than others, and some days you don't. Some days you feel like you can like really speak your mind and you feel strong in your you feel like you have a strong voice, like you feel like you can speak your truth, and other days you feel like you just kind of have to stay quiet and just be on the defense. Yeah. I was feeling drawn to pull this, not pull this, to look at the bottom, and I see the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man usually represents someone who is trying to gain enlightenment and wisdom, trying to see things from a different perspective, which kind of goes along with this here. So this is how your 3D self views yourself. Let's see how your 5D self views yourself. Okay, so we have the King of Cups, the 5 of Cups, the Hanged Man. We just saw that. And the King of Wands. And you know what's so funny? This is your 5D self. And usually the card that appears at the bottom of the deck is what you don't see. It's what you're not really aware of, or something that's hidden. So this would definitely represent like a 5D type of scenario in this case. And the fact that it came out in these cards is confirmation that that's definitely it. Okay, so again, you have the King of Cups here. You have the 5 of Cups. You have the Hanged Man, or in this case, it's a woman, regardless. And you have the King of Wands. So let's see what I'm getting from this here. All right. Okay, so the King of Cups, I feel like, is related to the Hanged Man, where I'm getting that you have a lot more insight and wisdom than maybe you might even be aware of. And I think that even in your 3D life, you might be very insightful. Like you might see things a certain way, but that doesn't match up with how you actually express yourself. Because again, I feel like you're more focused on whatever the circumstances are that you're dealing with are kind of more, they're kind of superseding what the reality actually is for you. But I feel like you're very insightful. And I feel like you definitely have strong intuition. Yeah, I feel like you know what's going on, like your higher self definitely. And I feel like even your 3D self is aware of this, but I feel like it's kind of masked because of your circumstances. So I'm getting the same and like I'm getting the same vibe for both the King of Cups and the Hanged Man that you definitely do because I didn't even really recognize that for a second. Excuse me. As they call them, spiritual burps, transmuting negative energy. Okay, so if you look at the man here, like you look at his, is it clear? You can see that his like the light around his head that's like it's illuminated, right? And then with the Hanged Man, you see how it's illuminated around her head as well, right? So that wasn't what was giving me that energy, but I looked at it and I realized I'm like, oh wow, it is showing that same sort of um, imagery. So I feel like you know. With the Five of Cups, you don't have to hold on to anything that you don't want to. And I feel like you have a sense of obligation, and that's why you're holding on to so much. But really, whatever you feel is your obligation isn't really your obligation. I don't know. I feel like I talked about this the other day in yeah, when I was doing, I don't know if you, any of you guys checked it out, but the survival tips, it was a little bit long, but the survival tips for going through a spiritual awakening, not, well, not spiritual awakening, but the, what do you call it? Come on, girl. Um, the dark night of the soul or ascension, things like that. The like just some survival tips. I was talking about having a sense of obligation, and the Five of Cups is giving me that sense of obligation. It makes me feel like if you let go of anything or if you tell somebody else that you can't do something, like you feel very guilty about it, and you shouldn't feel guilty about it. Like these, like certain things are just not your responsibility, but you take it on as if it is your responsibility. Just create healthy boundaries for yourself. Know when it's time to let somebody do something for themselves. The example I gave in that video was, it's kind of like, actually, let me give a better, not a better example, a different example. It's like training wheels. Know when it's okay to take the training wheels off of whoever you feel obligated to. Let them learn how to ride the bike on their own. Like at some point, you can't just hover over every situation and over every person. That sense of obligation doesn't have to necessarily be, excuse me, doesn't necessarily have to be for people, but it could be for things as well. You could feel obligated to do certain things, have certain responsibilities that are not yours, and it could be overwhelming you. So your higher self sees that these are not your obligations and are literally trying to like rid you or make you aware that certain things are not your obligations, but you take it on as though they are. But that's just the sensitive side of you. That's just the nurturing, the caring side of you. And again, with this card, the Queen of Pentacles, I was getting that you're missing that nurturing side. So you could, like most people do, be giving what you actually want. So I get that from there. And with the King of Wands, you fine. That's all I'm going to say. You fine. With the King of Wands, you fine. No, but you are fine. You're attractive. You're a very attractive person, I feel. But you have a lot of strength and you have a lot of courage. I think that you're a lot stronger than people actually give you credit for, or people may realize. I feel like you've survived a lot, and you looking like this, with you looking like this, okay? Without a scar on you, looking all like nice and fit and stuff. And just having like, I just feel like you're stronger than most people give you credit for. I feel like you're aware of your strength from everything that you've survived or that you've been through. And that your 5D self is telling you that you are strong and you are courageous and you can survive anything that you go through. And that with the lion even in the background, you know, they say the lion is the king of the jungle, right? You are the king of wands. So it's time to start acting like that. Like, don't be in this energy. Don't be in that type of energy, or even this type of energy where it's kind of like sometimes you feel like you can speak up, sometimes you feel like you can't, sometimes you feel like you have to, you know, kind of, I wouldn't say dumb yourself down, but just kind of be a little more reserved. And then even with the hermit, feeling like life is just overtaking you, I feel. So yeah, that's your 5D self. And we're going to look at two things that you might be worried about that are really just not even issues, okay? So, one second. All right, so 2 cards, please, for what pile 1 is not, what pile 1 is worried about, but it's not really an issue. Just one more card, please. One more card. There we go. So let's see what you got here. Answers and truth. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so you got answers and you got truth. So 2 things that you're worried about are having all the answers, not just for yourself, but for others, and knowing the truth. So that actually takes things to a different kind of level. Let me see how this all like kind of fits together. Because these are things that, you know, you really don't need to not pay attention to, but they're not really, there's not really things that should be taking up your time, like concerning you. So I feel like you're seeking answers for certain things that may be having you in this energy. But again, with the King of Wands, you don't, like, you have more power, you have more insight, you have more understanding, and you do have the ability to speak up for yourself and not bite your tongue to feel like you need to go along to get along. But I feel like you're looking for answers or looking for some kind of way out of the situation. But really the answers are within you. Like, you have it's literally as simple as just saying no and walking away. But I feel like you're very worried about what's going to be the outcome if I do that? Like, how are people going to respond to me? Maybe like a people pleaser type of energy. But this is not something for you to worry about. Having the answers to everything before you make a move. Again, this is like energy I got from a pile that not that long ago. I don't know why it's coming back to my mind like that. And then with the truth, again, it's kind of the same truth answers, same type of thing. And the fact that she's holding up a mirror, I feel like the truth is within, similar to like the actual energy of the hermit, which is going within to find the answers. I feel like the truth is like, it's within you. Like, you're insightful, you're intuitive. Like I was saying with the hangman and the King of Cups, like how everything looks illuminated around their head. Like they already know the answers, but it's like you want to know the answers before you make a move, and you're searching for the truth about something. Again, I'm getting the same energy from answers and truth. Like, you need more information before you do something, but really you have all the information you need. You have the strength that you need. You have the courage that you need. You just need to let go and trust yourself. So I'm going to end it there because I made your pile very, very long. So hopefully that was helpful. And if you chose any other piles, I will see you there. If not, we're on to pile 2. Take care. And if you liked the video, please give it a like. And if you, if you want to stay in touch for more content, sub up. If the reading helped you out in any way, or if it gave you any insight, or if it resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And until next time, peace and blessings. Hey, Pile 2. Okay, so Pile 2, you chose the red Lego piggy bank thing. So let's see. So this is going to be your 3D self versus your higher self. So how you view your life in the 3D versus how your higher self views your life. So let's see what we have here. So an extra card came out for your pile. Excuse me. My apologies. Okay, so you have the 9 of Cups. You have the 3 of Swords. You have the 9 of Wands. You have the Justice card. And you have the Page of Wands. All right, so let's see what your let me move this out the way. Let's see what your 3D self, how your 3D self views your life. Okay, so I just got like a whole storyline in my head, and as I go through each card, I'm going to see if that's what it is, but I'm going to tell you what the storyline is that I got. So I got that you had a lot of hopes in a situation. You got your heart broken. Now you're feeling defensive. You're looking for justice in a situation, so you're looking for the scales to be balanced. You're looking for some sort of, I don't know why the word get back is coming to me, but it's almost like you feel like you were done wrong. And it's kind of like you want, because I'm seeing the word justice. I can't think of any other word right now, but you want some sort of, not retribution. You want some sort of, yeah, like some sort of like, you want to know there's consequences to what happened, however you were hurt. And with the Page of Wands, I feel like you're taking a chance and you're moving on and you're moving forward and you're starting a new journey. So let me see individually if I get anything else. No, that's pretty much it. That was pretty quick and self-explanatory. I just read like a whole story. So let's see what your 5D self, so that's what your 3D self thinks about your current situation or your current life. Now remember, this is very general, so this kind of, if not all of it has to apply to you, there could be certain bits and pieces that apply. It could be the whole entire thing. I could have just read your life. I don't know. So let's see what your 5D self has to say. So we have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the 4 of Swords. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy how this works out. 4 of Cups. And the Ace of Swords? Ace of Swords, yeah. All right, so let's see what this is saying here. What is your higher self? How does your higher self view your current life? Okay, so I'm getting that with the Queen of Pentacles, like just as it looks, like you're sitting pretty. Male or female, that you're sitting pretty. I feel that you're wise. That goes along with the Ace of Swords, like having a lot of knowledge, being very intelligent. I feel like your higher self, your 5D self, your 5D self is like there's nothing to worry about. And because of it being the Queen of Pentacles, it's making me wonder again if this situation has to do with money and the justice, if it has to do with money. So if it does have to do with money, if your situation does involve finances or material, anything, and that was a part of your heart being broken, like maybe something stolen from you or maybe something taken from you, you're going to be just fine. I feel like you have the ability to make it back, or maybe you have more, or maybe you will come into, not maybe you will come into more. If that's the case, that you don't have any, or you lost a lot, you will come into more. So your higher self is sitting pretty because they know, your higher self, speaking to all y'all who chose this pile, who chose pile 2, your higher self knows that everything's going to be just fine. So you don't have to worry about anything in terms of like even the justice. However the justice comes, I've mentioned this before, karma rarely comes from the person that dealt it, or the person that was dealt to. Am I saying that right? So let's say that you do something to somebody. That person is probably not going to be the person that does something back to you. It's probably going to come from somebody else because you need to learn the lesson. Otherwise, like I said before, it's just going to ping pong back and forth. It's like you do something to that person does something back to you. Then it's going to be like, oh, they did something back to me. Okay, now I'm going to do something to them. And it's going to keep going. No one's going to learn anything. So that's why it usually comes from somebody completely unrelated and someone that's really going to hit you in the heart so that you feel what it feels like. So don't worry about anything. You're fine. With the 4 of Swords, you're going to heal. So we have the, here, so you have the heartbreak. And then when you look here, this person is stitching their heart back together. And even though they might be wounded, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. So you might have had your heart broken, but you're going to be fine. I'm trying to figure out what rune this is. I can't remember which rune this is. But regardless of that, you are going to heal, and you are healing. And even like she has like a little smirk on her face, like a little smile, like she knows that you're healing, or he knows, however, your higher self knows that you're healing and you're going to be fine. With the 4 of Cups, your higher self, it looks like it's acknowledging whatever you've been through. It's definitely acknowledging whatever you've been through and is offering you more. So there's better to come. Because if you look here, this person looks sad and depressed. But if you look at the bottom right here, there's a cup being offered. So this person is like, man, look at all these empty cups. But look at all the rainbow. The whole thing is getting filled up here. So whatever you lost is coming back to you. This could be money related or material something related, because you have the Queen of Pentacles and you have the cups. The cups usually represent emotions that could go back to the heart, but I just feel like it's something material. Or maybe you could have just given a lot to somebody. Like you could have just been giving and got nothing in return. And then the person had the nerve to like maybe do something to you to where you feel like you need justice, or something needs to happen to that person. So yeah, again, you will be made whole. That's what I'm going to say. And with the Ace of Wands, like I said earlier, it's giving me the same vibe as like the Queen of Pentacles. You're very smart. You're very intelligent. And you will find a way. You will always make a way. And again, if it has to do with money or material things, like you have what it takes to get back to where you were. And I don't think it's going to be stressful. And whatever we experience in the 3D, it's for our 5D self. It's for us to grow and for our soul's progression, for us to gain those lessons so that we can further progress and not have to repeat the same cycles. So that's what I have for pile number 2. Hopefully that was helpful. If so, please like the video and let me know. And let me know in the comments if you feel too, if it resonated for you. And yeah, sub up if you want to keep in touch for more content. And that's it. If you chose pile 3 as well, or if you're drawn to pile 3, I will see you there. If not, and this is the end of the road for us. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace and blessings. Bye-bye. Ooh, you know what? Pause. I forgot. There's 2 cards that I needed to get for you. My apologies. I'm so sorry. There's 2 cards that I need to get for you. Okay. I need to get 2 cards of... okay, we've all seen a bra before. Relax. Okay. I forgot, there's two cards that I need to get for you. So two things that you are currently, let me see which time we're running at. Okay, two things that you're currently worried about that are really actually non-factors. So my apologies, I forgot that. It's because I wanted to live shuffle it. I don't know why. Something was just telling me to live shuffle it. Okay, so give me a second. Okay, so two cards, please, for pile two, two cards. I almost forgot that. That's crazy. Two cards for pile two. So what are they worried about that are non-factors? Two cards. Ooh. Saw something peeking out. You know, let me take this one too. Get out. This came out in pile one too. Okay, so you have the truth. You have blessings. And you have grieving. Wait a second, let me see something here. Okay. Slight relation to pile one, slight relation. So let me go through this here. So I feel like so these are the things that you are holding on to that really are not factors. Like you're worrying about it, you're stressing about it. It's really not, it's a non-factor. So let me just actually spread these out. Hold on. Yeah. In relation to the cards that you got with the truth, I feel like you're looking for the truth to be exposed regarding this justice here. So maybe somebody did do something to you and you want the truth to come out, and it will be exposed. The truth will be revealed. I feel like with this blessings here and how this person's hand is open and receiving the blessings, that you have a lot of blessings that are still coming to you, which is why I said this person, the Queen of Pentacles, looks like she's just sitting pretty. Like she knows she's fine. You're going to be made whole. There's so many more blessings that are coming to you. This was just a lesson. Whatever you went through was just a lesson. And grieving the situation. And you see the blue butterfly, that's transformation. This was just meant to help you move on. It was just a lesson. That's it. So don't hold on to these things. There are blessings that are coming for you. The truth will come out. The truth will be revealed. And don't sit lamenting, grieving the situation, because what needs to happen will happen. And just take the lesson and leave the experience, so to speak, behind. That the painful part of the experience, just leave it behind. Sorry about that, pile two. I almost forgot about those cards. So hopefully, again, you enjoyed your reading. And until next time, on to pile three. If you chose pile three, I'll see you there. Hey, pile three. Okay, so if you chose pile three, you chose the blue, I want to say Rubik's Cube. You chose the blue Lego piggy bank thing. And let's see what your 3D self is thinking about your current life. What does your 3D self think? So you have the Chariot. You have the Ace of Pentacles. You have the Three of Pentacles. And you have the King of Wands. So let's see what we have here. A lot of purple. Okay, I'm immediately getting a story, and I'm going to go through the cards again to see, because I know, like, you know, depending on how many people watch this over whatever period of time, however many years this might be up, or however many months or weeks or whatever, it could apply to multiple people. So again, I'll only take what resonates for you. So regarding how your 3D self views your current situation, I'm getting, immediately I was getting, that you could feel like there's some current blockages in your life pertaining to money. Like there could be things that are standing in the way of you maybe gaining some sort of opportunities or moving forward. And that it's causing you to put in a lot of extra work and to have to be creative. But I also get that I feel that people think that your life is very easy or things come very easily to you, but they don't know the obstacles that you have to face. Yeah, I definitely get that. I feel like there's something that's kind of like there's a lot of like there's blockages. I feel like you just have to work harder than people think that you have to work for the things that you have. Like the things that I'm being drawn to here are just the expression on his face and the little pendant thing that he's wearing there that looks almost like it's like hypnotizing somebody. It's like it's giving me the vibe that like people think that, and sitting on the throne, that people think that things just come easy to you. But with the Three of Pentacles, that has a lot of different meanings. In this case, the way I'm interpreting it is that you have to put in a lot of hard work to get what you have. But there's something that's like blocking you, or people are trying to create blockages, or things are just more difficult. Like there's always like obstacles or something in the way for you to get what you want. And the things that you get might be very big, like this massive pentacle. Like you might get a lot. Or maybe in order for you to get a lot, you do have to work very hard. This also gives me the vibe that people think that things are just handed to you, but they're not. They don't recognize that you have to work very hard for what you have. So let me see what your 5D self thinks about your life. So we have the Ace of Cups. We have the Two of Wands. We have the Three of Swords. And we have the Eight of Pentacles. And you guys got an extra card. And we have the Six of Swords. So let's see what your higher self is, how your higher self views your life here. Okay. So I feel like your higher self views you as being abundant, caring, loving, giving, and definitely giving. And that you do give from your heart space, that when you give, it's not to give to say, ooh, look what I did. Like, you know, some people, they'll give to charity. And the reason why they give to charity is so that they can have somebody say, like, they're such a good person. It's like you do that truly from, ooh, excuse me. You do that truly from the heart. I'm about to make this an 18 plus. You do that truly from the heart, that you actually do give from the heart. I feel like you probably travel a lot, or you probably travel a lot to make your money. But I feel like you also make time for fun, which is another reason why people probably think that your life is really easy, because they probably see you having a lot of fun. Maybe whatever you do for work might look like fun, but it doesn't negate the fact that you actually put in work. Like there's like the Two of Wands is giving me balance, but it's also giving me that you travel a lot, and then you might have some nice things, you know. But you definitely put in the work, like you deserve it. This is how your life is supposed to be according to your 5D self, your higher self. This is part of the life that you're supposed to experience. Now with the Three of Swords, I feel like yeah, that there's frustration in, I feel, how people view you or how they interpret your life or how people treat you. There's a lot of inner frustration. I'm definitely getting that there's a lot that you bottle up that you need to let out. And I feel like your higher self wants you to let that out. Don't keep it bottled in. Because like with this picture, when you look at the heart, it looks like it's just being held together, just like by a string. So I feel like your higher self, I'm gonna say your 5D self, your 5D self wants you to let it out. Like however you feel, like let it out. You're meant to be vocal, not to bottle things up. You are truly a giving, caring person. You work hard for what you have. But whatever people are saying and stuff like that, it does affect you. And I feel like you just, again, like maybe you just put on like you know, an image that makes people look at you like everything just comes easy. But it really doesn't. And I don't think that there's any shame in saying that. You know what? Actually, no. I don't just get things handed to me. I had to stand in line for 5 hours for, X, Y, and Z, or I had to travel so far to like do this, that, and the other. With the Eight of Pentacles, again, like with all the different moon cycles that are being shown here, I feel like you put in work. Like you might be up all night sometimes, maybe going without sleep. You definitely put in the work, so you deserve what you get. But people seem to think that your life is easy. But your 5D self recognizes that it's not that your 5D self knows that you put in a lot of work from morning to night doing the things that you do. And with the green candle, it's making me think of, yeah, that you're putting in that work for your abundance. And not only that, you're giving thanks. You're grateful for what you have. With the Six of Swords, I feel like you need to move away from people who make you feel like this. Anyone who makes you feel like you're doing things that are not doing things that are, but you're not working for the things that you have, or making you feel guilty for what you have, knowing that you have a good heart and you really are putting in that work. I feel like your 5D self is saying, you don't move away from those people. Matter of fact, you might get dragged away from them people. You might get dragged away from those people if you don't move away on your own free will. And we talked about that too. Don't let a tower moment happen. That person has their bags and everything packed. So don't be around people who make you feel like you don't deserve what you have, or make you feel guilty for the things that you have, because you're meant to have them and you're a good person. So I'm going to pick 2 cards of things that you are holding on to that you need not hold on to. Things that you are feeling like are factors in your life that are just non-factors. Like just let it go. Don't even think about it. Okay, so I'm going to have 2 cards, please, for pile 3. What are they holding on to? Or what do they believe are oh, you got 3. Let me just take them. So these are, again, what are you holding on to that are non-factors? So we have forgiveness, talent, and family. That's interesting, as non-factors. So let's see what I get here. With the forgiveness and with the information from the pile, I feel like you are, again, like bottling things up or just giving people passes for treating you a certain way. And I don't think you need to do that. Ignore the forgiveness part. That's just the energy of it. It's kind of like you're looking at people and saying, making excuses for their behavior, essentially, is what you're doing. When really, again, like I was saying with this Six of Swords, Get away from them. Get away from people who don't acknowledge your work, your dedication, everything that you put into it, and act like you don't deserve what you have, or like you haven't worked for what you have. Don't make excuses for them, or don't ignore how they're making you feel, because literally, where's that picture? Look at this. That's like you're in agony. Like you just want to scream at the world like, holy, like give me a break, get off my D. Like that's what it's coming across like. With the talent, I feel like you might compare yourself to other people, or people might compare you to other people and say maybe you're not as deserving because maybe you're not, they feel like you're not as talented, or maybe they're just saying that because everybody has their own, there's things that they're really, really good at. And some people are good at a lot of things. But maybe people might be trying to use that against you, like saying you don't deserve this because you're not talented, or you don't have any talent. You just got handed these things. So let go of that. It could be your family that's saying this to you. That's pretty messed up if it is, but I can relate. So, but it could be family. This might only apply to like one or two of you, but I feel like a beautiful family is awaiting you. If you haven't already started a family, there is a beautiful family that's awaiting you, and that is going to support you. And you're going to find all that love and support that you might not have felt from anyone else, or you might not have felt thus far in your life. This is supposed to be, excuse me, what you're not supposed to be holding on to. But I just got that message from looking at this. But I'm getting that if it is family that's making you feel like this, it could be certain family members. Just don't pay them any mind. Because even within families, like I said, I can speak from example. Some people look at you and they think that just because you don't ask them for help, that you don't need help. Sometimes you don't ask them for help because there's strings attached to the help that they give and other things like that. But I don't want to drag this on too long. But that's what you need to these are not factors for you. They're not factors for you. Don't let that discourage you or change your mind or make you move in one direction versus another. You're safe, you're fine, you're good, you're a good, kind-hearted person. Don't bottle your feelings up. And that's it for pile 3. So hopefully that message was helpful for you. And if you did, give it a like, give the video a like. If you haven't subscribed and you want to stay in touch for more content, do so. If you want to leave a comment about how it resonated for you, or if it resonated, feel free to do so as well. And yeah, that's it. Until next time, peace and blessings. Take care of yourself. Bye.